Okay, hi everyone. This is Erica. I'm a QHHT Level 3 practitioner from Cape Town, South Africa. Welcome to my channel. And today we are joined with the fabulous Tracie Mahan, who is also a QHHT Level 3 practitioner who facilitated my training in December of last year. Thank you for joining us, Tracie. Thank you so much. And how are you doing today?
Thank you for having me. I am good. It's a beautiful day, or it's going to be.
Yeah, it's very early where you are, right?
Where
So it's 6
you're
o'clock
closing yours out. Yeah,
Yes,
I'm just getting
exactly.
started. So
Yes. Okay, just to tell you a little bit more about Tracie is she's an international channel, a psychic medium, an empath, clairvoyant. She has it all, it seems. She's also a hypnotherapist, as I said, a QHHT Level 3 practitioner. She's a family coach. She's an NLP practitioner and Reiki master. So she has all these natural gifts, and with that, she has the ability to connect with guides, with angels, ascended masters, the spiritual council, and the galactic counterparts. So, Tracie, just before we get into, so I decided to organize this session after we had a bit of a Q&A with this collective called the Arcturian Daniel during our training. And during that session, you told me how you actually were able to connect with these beings. So before we go into the Q&A with these beings, or this being or this collective, can you maybe explain to people how you accessed this ability? Because you didn't always have it. Is that accurate?
right. And actually it was QHHT that brought it to me.
Yes.
So I had done channeled writing before, like channeled letters, with like your counsel and your guides and that sort of thing, but never anything extraterrestrial in that nature. Or what I considered extraterrestrial, maybe I should say, because now my whole perception of that may have changed about who angels are and all the things. But
Yes.
so I went to my level 2 training, and Julia Cannon and had brought Kaya Wittenberg up on the stage because he did channeling, and she wanted to show us what it was like when someone goes into a channel in a session.
Mm.
And when all of that was going on, and he was bringing in his Arcturians, I just was in the back of the room, just shaking and
Mm.
flittering and doing all the
Amazing.
things and going,
Mm.
what's happening? And it's like, man, there's so much energy in this room. And so then there was another event that night at a little campfire where he brought him in again. Same thing was happening. I'm shaking, I'm flittering, I'm jumping around there. And so then I go home from that the next day, and I set up a session, a trade with a friend of mine. And when it was my turn to go into the regression, then everything started to come out. All, this Arcturian comes in. It was kind of like seeing something out of a movie in my mind, because it was like it was just the energy was bouncing off the walls. And
Amazing.
um they were taking me for a tour of all kinds of different planetary systems, and it was quite extraordinary. And then when I got done, I was just buzzing like, what just happened? So
Mm.
anyways, then I wasn't sure if it would come in again like that. I didn't know if that was a one-time deal or not. And I was working with another friend that was telling me she was having a bad day. I said, well, give me a phone call and maybe we can shift that for you. And she called me up, and I start talking to her. Next thing I know, they took her off into a forest and had her meet all of her little fairy friends and all these things. And
Amazing.
by the
Yes.
time they were done touring her around and doing healing work on her, we get done, and she goes, what kind of session was that? And I said, I don't know. I've never done that before, and so that's where the ascension sessions started. So
Yes. Oh.
yeah, so that's how that all got started. But when they come in, this has been since 2018 now. So
Yes.
the way that I describe that they come in, I am a conscious channel. So I kind of step off to the left, they come in on the right. I can feel them standing there. When I think about them, it's almost like their energy is just always there. Like there's always a direct connection there. And
Beautiful.
there's a collective of them. There's a collective of them of about 7. And there's one that speaks through me, and I call that one Daniel. That was a joke in itself, because somebody asked, the Arcturian when he was coming through, well, what's your name? And he was a little bit of a stinker, and he says Daniel because, they go by frequencies and vibrations,
Mm.
and we're
Yes.
the ones that need the name because we're not
Mm.
in tune to
Mm.
that kind of thing. And so I was just sitting there going, Daniel, really? And so but it stuck. Everyone started calling him Daniel. So
Mm.
that's what he is, Arcturian Daniel. And,
Daniel.
and
Mm.
after about maybe almost a year and a half, 2 years of channeling Daniel,
Mm.
the question was finally asked me, what is the connection? Why I was in the channel,
Yes.
what's the connection to you and Tracie? And so the answer that came through was, we're the same soul. So this
Mm.
is an aspect of me, or I'm an aspect of him. So we're aspects of the same soul incarnated, and that's why I can
Mm.
connect with that version. And we have several
Yes.
of these. This is for everyone. Everyone has
Mm.
this. We are living multiple lifetimes. We're living dimensional lifetimes. That's why Dolores calls it the convoluted universe, because we are
Mm.
living in so many different versions and levels and dimensions and having so many experiences all at once. And we're learning that we can tap into that. So
Mm.
that's the fun
Exactly.
part of this work. It's like,
Yes.
oh, there's so much more. So yeah.
Yes. Beautiful. I just want to ask the last one before we maybe start with the Q&A with Arcturian Daniel is how do you receive the information? You said you kind of step aside, right? And then the information, does it flow in as in like visually, or can you hear it? Or do you like, how does it work? How does it come in?
I don't know what I'm going to say until it's said.
Okay.
Um, So it's just like when you asked me that question and I'm speaking to you right now, it wouldn't be any different than that. It's just the Arcturian is now speaking. So I'm sharing
Mm.
that conscious space with them. So you're literally talking to them. I can be an influence because I am a conscious channel. So I try to hold
Mm.
back or keep my personal thoughts and feelings out of it.
Yes.
That's its own thing to learn and
What?
practice.
Yeah.
So, and that's with any channel, by the way. This is one of my
Yes.
precursors to the work I do is always use discernment. Don't
Mm.
trust everything you're hearing. If it feels right, take it. But we have to
Mm.
remember that there are there are many collectives here at this time, many light workers, volunteers, whatever you feel like you identify with. And if they're watching this show, they're probably falling under that. So if you're watching this, you probably fall under that volunteer or light worker.
Mm.
Not everyone's from the same collectives. We're all here
Mm.
from different groups working together to raise this vibration. So something that works for the Arcturian Council or the Syrian
Mm.
Council or the Palladian Council may not work for the Lyran Council or the Mantis beings or, whatever the other councils that fall in alignment. So if it's not resonating, don't worry about that. If it
Mm.
feels off, don't worry about that. Don't take it. Take the stuff that feels right and
Mm.
use your own discernment with it. And the way I look at it is don't give me all the power, right? Like I'm
Mm.
just going to be the messenger. And like I said, I'm a conscious channel. I'm going to do my best to keep my stuff out of it and bring you the cleanest message I can. I don't watch the news. I don't read or I don't look at other people's channeling work. I stay out of all of that
Mm.
so that I can be as clean as I can.
Mm.
So just a little educator piece that we do all need to take responsibility for what we're taking in it for information. What feels right, take it. If it doesn't,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. It's just a perspective at the end of the day. And
Yeah.
I just want to know also, does it feel like the info? Because I know a lot of the channels I work with, they say that it feels, you're saying it almost feels like this, consciousness is from the right of you. But a lot of my channels are saying that it feels almost like the information is flowing from the heart. It's like bubbling out, almost like when you're in flow state. Can you explain how that works for you specifically?
Yeah, once I get connected to that channel, the vibration of the channel does feel like that. I it's almost euphoric at the time that you're in it, like some of the information floating around. It's like when you go into one of those really deep meditations that just really takes you off into all the fun places. And it's kind of hard to
Mm.
come back, and do but the I know that with the group that I'm working with, that their intention is to bring in information from light, information. They're not going to use fear. You know,
Mm.
they're using love and light to get you the information to help
Mm.
you neutralize whatever situation is arising for you.
Mm.
And so when it's always coming from that place, yeah, it's a very um light and heart-based energy when it's coming through.
Yeah, and it's never prescriptive. It's more suggestive, and it's of course never punitive or judgmental. Where we find that with the lower dimensional channelings, that kind of thing will come through, as in like quite a
Yeah,
judgmental, as if of society and humanity. Yes. Okay.
yeah,
But like you said, it's up to people to use their own discernment to choose the information which resonates with them and what doesn't. So yeah.
yeah. And it's
Okay.
good to
So
remember
sorry. Go ahead.
that.
Hmm.
Oh, I was going to say it's good to remember that channel, everyone can bring in a channel, and probably people do without even knowing they're doing it,
Yes.
because sometimes it can just be that familiar with their own energy. So if
Mm.
someone out there is looking at wanting to channel, please remember it's going to come in at the energy and vibration you're at. So if you just argued with a
Mm.
spouse or had a bad day, go clear that energy before you sit down and work in the energy of channeling, because you will. There's I describe it like piano keys. It's not one's
Mm.
higher than the other. We've got all these different dimensions that we're working in. Just like there's all the keys on the piano, you need them all to make the music, and there's not one better than the other, but there are sounds that sound better than the others, right? And
Mm.
so when you're playing in that energy, just be in the vibration that feels good, and light, and then you'll have good luck with that. And I set Daniel as my gatekeeper because I don't want to bring
Mm.
in lower frequency, because it does get into, like, the denser energies get into
Mm.
that judgment, the fear,
Yes.
and
Yes.
the higher energies stay out of the fear and into
Yes.
the love-based stuff. So that's what
Yes.
I like to do. That's where I like to play. And so,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. Well, I mean, that's what we do in QHHT is we make contact with the higher self and then we get the information. So yeah. Okay,
yeah.
wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we start? Anything else about the work you're doing right now? Any future upcoming events or anything else you'd like to say before we start?
I do. It pops in. You
Mhm.
were asking me about that trip to Hawaii, and while I
Mm,
was there was this Lemurian goddess energy that was coming in, and there was this big 25,000 year cycle that just had
cycle.
completed, or we're in that, where all these Lemurian, um in my mind, they're showing them like Lemurian warriors, and they had me take people through a meditation, it was actually more like a sound bath of healing. Everybody had to sit in a certain order. I got everybody in that order. It was quite extraordinary, because they were showing me like the cross with the little crosses, and so making a little star. So I did that in the group. We brought in this beautiful channel, and healing for everybody in the group. And I just keep seeing all these Lemurian things that are starting to open up now. And it's probably because I connected to it. So now it's becoming part of my reality to see these things. But if you're connected to Lemuria, you might start
Mm,
experiencing more and more energy around what's going on with bringing back that divine balance with the masculine and the feminine. It's like
mm,
there's this big push of energy right now. We actually anchored a large amount of light in Kauai. When
mm,
doing that, they were showing like this pillar of light being anchored in. But then I got home and I'm hearing, look up Lemurian star. And so I went and looked up the Lemurian star, and it's the same exact shape that they had me put
mm,
all the people in. So there was
mm,
definitely something powerful going on there. If you're connected to Lemurian type things, or very connected to the water itself,
yes.
there's probably a lot of changes going on with our water, with bringing back those healing waters, bringing back a healthier earth, and all the things with the earth.
Yes.
A lot of the crystals have been repaired now. Inner earth crystals have been repaired, and they're starting to recharge them. And so
Mm,
exciting times ahead, I think.
yes.
So
Exciting
that'll be
times.
good. Yeah.
Mm,
Okay. So I'm
fabulous.
ready
Thanks.
to go get Daniel. My little helper just just abandoned me. She was sitting with me and then she just ran
Oh,
off.
oh, baby. Oh, what a cutie. Oh.
You better say hi before you run away. Okay.
What
There
kind of
you
dog
go.
is that?
Okay. She's a little bit of a mix. She's got Chihuahua and Poodle and possibly other things. I'm not sure,
I was
but
gonna say Chihuahua, but I wasn't sure. I didn't want to offend him or her.
yeah, it's a little girl, and it's funny because it was my
Oh.
cousin's dog that had the litter. So they were posting
Mm.
pictures one day of these little puppies in their hands, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, those are so cute!" And then I saw her picture, and I went, "Oh my God, that's my dog!" And that came
That's
out
so
of my
cute.
mouth, and I was like,
Yeah,
"But I just got a dog. I don't need another dog, and it's my dog."
yeah, that's your dog.
It's my
Beautiful.
dog. So yeah.
Love
All
it.
right. So let me go get Daniel for you, and then I'll see you guys all on the other side when we're all done. Okay.
Fabulous. Thank you, Trace.
We we took a little bit of a tour of all of you as we were coming in. We just wanted to look at the collective as we are speaking with you. We need you to know that you do not have to watch this live for us to see you. We see you because all time is now. We see your connection to us as we speak. And so it does not matter when you're watching this, at what time, what day, could even be years from the original date, and it is okay. We still see you and we feel your energy and your presence. And we thank you all for collecting and being here in support of this. Thank you for having us, Erica.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so happy to speak with you again.
Mm.
So my first question, I'm going to start local and then we can go global. I am from South Africa, southernmost tip of Africa at the moment. And at the moment we are, Tracy knows about this, experiencing this kind of load shedding where half the day we have no electricity, kind of like you're seeing behind me. It suddenly went dark in the beginning. So I was wondering, so for various reasons, which we won't go into, we just don't have electricity for half of the day, which of course is making people quite entrepreneurial. We're going off the grid, we're becoming more self-governed, all of that. But I wanted to know if you have any information about how it is that our collective in the southernmost tip here in South Africa manifested this, and what was the purpose of manifesting it?
Hmm. There is a lot of energy in that question about energy. So what we are
Mm.
seeing as you were speaking about why is this process happening, and you're going to notice that things like this will be happening around the globe with different subjects, different scenarios. What is happening is if you had electricity 24/7, you'd be kicking back and relaxing and it would not be an issue, right? And so there was no motivation to change what is already working. And so this is about change. This is about creating change. The globe is pushing for change to happen. Everybody wants this to be different, but it takes motivation to get there. So there is a little motivation happening right now. You have 7 people in your area that are going to be creating in a very unique way how to collect the energy, how to move energy. The free energy we believe you spoke about. You were asking free energy earlier in
Mm.
conversation. And so the free energy, the collecting molecules from the air itself and bringing in energy from even space. There are ways to attract and pull energy to the earth, energy from star systems. There's just so many more ways to get power and energy and resources into your planet. What you are using is very archaic in its own way. And so by generating this cycle of energy where people are forced to find alternative solutions, it's going to ignite a little fire, if you will, under those who have information that has been downloaded to them, but they haven't been maybe applying it quite the same. What we want to say also is this kind of energy device, these kinds of inventions have already been created before, and they have been
Mm.
taken away. They have been hidden, they have been swept under the carpet, if you will. And so now we're having it done by by multiple people all at the same time so that this cannot happen again. It will not just be the resource of one inventor or entrepreneur, it'll be the resource of many coming together saying that they've all got this solution going on. And so you're going to see people, somebody is going to make it to the surface with the information, in other words, so that it can no longer be swept under the carpet and no longer be controlled. And that has been what is the big push of this, right? Is this control. There's plenty of electricity, there's plenty of power, and there's plenty of ways to make more power. It is a control thing. And so
Mm.
this will eliminate the control from happening. But again, isn't it all in alignment? For some of you, that word might flare up some emotions, right? That word control. But again, it is another pressure point to get things to shift and change. So as that happens, you are dissolving control over, and then you'll have that dynamic of everyone working together. This is no easy task to take a third dimension into a fifth dimensional frequency. There is a lot going on there that needs to shift and change, and a lot of growth in the way that humankind is thinking. It is their nature to be competitive. It is their nature to be every man for himself, right? It is built in the DNA of the third dimensional experience to to be the best, to compete with each other. And so there is a lot of growth that needs to happen through humanity. Now, remember, as one grows, they all grow. It's the 100th monkey, as they call it. So the more people that are coming together in this growth and expansion of the mind and that growth of evolution in the soul, you're going to start putting it out there in the collective energy, and then more and more people grab hold, and pretty soon, just like all the different fashion statements that go through their waves, right? You got the new fashion comes in, and a few people do it, then more people do it, and then pretty soon all around the world everyone's wearing this fashion. Think of it like that. It is going to spread. It is spreading every day more massively and more massively as more and more people are starting their awakening. And it is the ripple effect of it is quite extraordinary from our perspective. So we do want to encourage everyone that things are happening, even when you can't see them. And there might be illusions created to make it look like bad things are going on, just to keep you steeped in fear so that your awakening process will be slower. But we want you to know that you get to make choices on what you put your energy into, and put that energy where you feel the joy, where you feel the happiest, and you'll start creating realities with joy and happiness. You create where you put your energy, and that is not new. That is old information, right? So everyone think about, where are you putting your energy? Who are you giving it energy to? And if we can, even where you have fear, wherever you do have fear-based energies, start sending love to that. Start sending love to all the energies, to all those around the world who do have positions of authority. Send them love and light so that they are working with the collectives. Don't send them more fear, don't send them anger, don't send them resentments. Clear those energies. It's time for us all to get into this place of understanding that we are in control. Those in the population are in control by the things they're thinking about, by the messages they're sending through their vibrations. So you're in control and responsible for the energy that you are putting into the world. Focus on that, move that energy into beautiful places, into the heartfelt places. Move that into the world and the areas that you need it. Move it into the shortage of energy. Move it into the needing a new way to be transported, maybe getting rid of the fossil fuels and moving into other ways of fueling these jet engines and these motor cars and all the things that you have, or even new ways to move the body, the physical body, from one point to the other. You and Tracie were just talking about, wouldn't teleportation have been nice? You could have all been in Hawaii together. And so just putting energy into something more productive, something more futuristic, if you will, to see a better future. And we will stop there and give you a chance to respond to all of that.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much. I was
Mhm.
just wondering, so you said there are individuals in this area who are creating, creating technologies to be able to harvest energy from the sky or from the atmosphere. Can you maybe talk more about that? Sure.
There is technology that is designed to, just like a magnet will pull energy, pull it the other opposite to it. There is ways to create a device to pull energy to the planet that would be in amounts that are so large that you would never be able to use it all. It's harmless. It's not going to be a detriment to anyone's soul. It is easy energy to use, and it would be even a simple process to move devices that you use into using these frequencies, if you will. Adapters to be made, right? And so the energy could be pulled from different resources and devices that can be developed to help you pull the energy to your home and to your appliances and into the things that you use that require electricity, your cell phone devices, your lights, your refrigerators, all the things, until you come up with new devices that are even more useful than the ones that you already have. And then as that all happens, and Tracie's over here going, well, what's that going to do with all the old appliances and everything that everyone will need to be moving out of their homes? She's thinking about that impact on the world. And again, there will be ways to recycle these old appliances and these old devices into the product that you need for the new ones. And so if done correctly, we'll put it that way, if done correctly, it should be a smooth transition. You'll see more of that coming about, not not at the first of this year, but towards the end of this year, maybe even into 2024, you'll start to see more of that becoming available or becoming it. You will see it working in school systems or government systems before you see it being brought out into public into, but it won't take long. We don't want to create an energy there. It won't take long for it to get to the public, but it's going to be used in other areas first to see how much it works, just like other devices, like your solar panels that you were speaking of earlier. The solar panels, that those devices, how they get used in other areas first in corporations and different things to see how it works before it gets brought out into the public. We did we stress to the makers, we put the energy in there with these downloads and these devices to make this affordable for everyone. This is supposed to be free energy. These are devices to pull energy to your home. They should be affordable. And so this is a big push as well in the energy and the frequencies that are coming into the planet, that there's no reason why anyone should be struggling in your planet. No reason for it other than this division of finances and money in this monetary system that has been created in your planet. And so we are pushing for a different system for that as well. So watch for all of this. If you are seeing systems break down, don't be fearful of it. Be joyful of it. You will go through transition into new systems, but you need to understand that one needs to fall apart for another to be built, just like your power needs to be shut off for someone to be motivated to find new ways for power. And so it is a motivator for change. So don't you worry when you see the changes that are happening, be joyful about it and find your best way through it. And ask your guides, your counsels to help you find the best way through these transitions so that you are ready without suffering, without creating hardship for your families. Did that answer
Yes,
your
beautiful.
question?
Yes, thank you so much. Apologies, my video, I've just switched my video off because I went a little bit blurry. I'm just going to leave it like that. Thank you so much for that answer.
Hmm.
Okay, so just the next question, getting on to the next question. It seems like people are quite frustrated that there is no simple way to connect to their extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. They're kind of frustrated that we need to kind of gain or download the information from someone like Tracie. And people were wondering if there's any way that the Arcturians have developed some kind of device like a telephone, or some kind of communication device or a method that we could chat like normal beings, to our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters. Um, can you maybe give more clarity on that?
A communication device for connecting with beings outside of your world. Is
Yes.
that right?
Yeah. Yes.
Mm,
Or how they could connect easier, not having to be dependent on someone else to bring forward the information.
absolutely. So what we would say to that is you are the best device. The reason that people are more and more and more connecting to this energy is because they're doing the work to clear out the old energies, the old hurts and pains. It is a vibration. So it is like when you are turning the dial on your radio, and if you don't quite have it in the right spot, it comes in very staticky, and then you have to play with that dial to get it to come in nice and clear. You are much like that radio. You are a generator of many signals, many signals. What we could do with you today, what we would like to do with you today, and there's nothing that comes from us as downloads. You get it all from your own resources. We bring it to your attention that it is available to you, but you are each the individuals that bring it in and bring in those resources for yourself. So what we want you to do at this time is we want you to just be in that with us. If you are in the ability to close your eyes without putting yourself in danger, please do that. So close your eyes and just allow for yourself to be in the vibration and the frequency of our voice, because our voice is going to raise you into that frequency. Take a breath. Here's where people get themselves caught into that block. Do not look for it. Do not try to find it, because that is your conscious mind and your ego vibration, and that is not a high enough vibration to move into the elements of talking to your councils. So what we want you to do, if you've ever noticed when you're driving a car, taking a walk, doing the dishes, doing something like that, the conversations in your head probably get pretty good because you are not concentrating on it, you are not focusing on it, you're not looking for it. And so you're just in that mind chattering, and then they're able to come through easier, faster. Some people have that happen when they're in the shower, when they're relaxing in some way, they are getting the downloads of information. So we want you to be in that space. We want you to just be in that space of just allow for the comfort of that energy to come in, to be part of your experience. And as you are bringing in that part of your experience, what we want to do is we want to invite your councils, your counterparts to come in, and they're going to scan the body for anywhere where there may have been a block put in place. And we want to say this to you. If there is a block put in place, you put it there at some point and you had a reason for it. If you are listening to this right now, it means it's time to remove the block. A lot of people put blocks in place to keep them from saying things as children that would have gotten them, oh, for lack of better words, an exorcism. And so there were blocks in place to keep you safe. And now it is time to release those blocks. And so as we're scanning the audience, we have a few people with a ring around the crown. These are common. You put the ring around the crown to minimize how much information was coming in through the crown chakra. You were able to maybe receive loved ones, guides, and the angels, but then you limited it to that so that you would not scare people around you. It is time for all of that to be released now. So if you would like for that to be released off of you, to have that crown, the ring around the crown, removed, just ask for that. If I have a ring around my crown, please remove it for me, please. And thank you, because you are free will. We can't do things without your permission. There are a lot of you that are working with the mantis beings. The mantis beings are coming in to work with you on telepathy. So the ones that had the ring around the crown were not able to receive their information from the mantis beings. And so now that can open that up for you. There are many, many councils coming in as you guys are removing your rings from around the crown. It is an extraordinary, an extraordinary piece for us to be watching this from the etherical realms. And so it is a beautiful thing. Now we're going to go to the ear chakras. There are some, what we're sensing around the ears is more like a muffler, like a filter, like things that do come in feel muffled. They're not clear. Why can't I get clear communication with my guides and my counterparts? And there's a system here that's muffling it. And so once again, we want to invite you to ask. And it is funny because we had Tracie put her supernova necklace on today. This is the title of this particular cut of stone that she has on, the amethyst here. We want you to invite in your supernova. We want you to invite in your supernova connection to the stars, to the star beings, to your connections, to your purpose here, and what it is that you do with that purpose. How does it look to you when you are fulfilling that purpose? And for some of you, it is just being in the energy and letting that energy be part of the experience around you. As people come in around you, they pick up on that energy and they benefit from it. And that could be as far as it goes, if that's all you want. And then you can do whatever else you want with it. You can use it as a practice. You can offer it as a service. You can share it with friends, whatever you want to do. So as we ask for this energy around the ears to be cleared, we also ask for the new antennas. That is Tracie's terms for them. That is not what we call them. But we put in those new antennas. We're looking, some people have some restrictions, some bracelets around their arms to keep the energy from flowing through their hands. As healers, if you feel like you would like to shift that and enhance or amplify the energy coming through your body as you use it for healing energies, you can ask to have the bracelets removed. We're getting somebody by the name, a D name, and like Devin, Deanna, Darlene, something something with a D name. And so no matter who you are, if this resonates with you, it is a message for you, but we are getting a very specific energy. So if you are listening to this, you have a block in the heart chakra that you put there because you have had many lifetimes here. You are an old soul. You've been here a few times before, and you have been discouraged, and you have a heavy heart over the discouragement. You may wonder what happened in this lifetime that has created such a heavy heart, and we want to say to you, this is lifetimes of heavy heart. And so we want to bring in your council of light around you. We want to bring in a vibration to heal the frequencies of all lifetimes ever lived that are contributing to this pain in the heart, and that everyone can use this, everyone can clear that. Bringing in a frequency to move the heart chakra into a receptive place so that you can receive the love that you've always longed for. And now we're seeing a lot of people responding to that. So receiving the love you've always longed for, removing that frequency off the heart. There are some of you that will become the ambassadors of your land, of your area. What we see with that is the ambassadors. See how we've moved the blocks and now all these messages are coming in. Some of you are getting ready to be the ambassadors of your area. You will be physically, at some point in this incarnation, you will be physically with the physical body. Your physical body will be getting prepared to enter space, if you will. Your physical body will take the journey. You're asking for how do they connect to their, like a phone call to their ET collectives, to their star being families. but some of you will actually be going in the physical body on a ship and remembering. It's not in the near future. We don't mean like tomorrow, but maybe it'll be 5 years in the future, 10 years in the future. As we, as a collective, raise this vibration and this frequency, the ambassadors will then be journeying back and forth between the Galactic Federation and Earth, and being the ambassadors of Earth, and being somebody of substance, if you will. There's going to be a different dynamic in the way that humanity is run. There's not going to be presidents, if you will, or leaders, if you will. It's going to be the ambassadors are coming in with instructions, with flow, with information to help humankind in a more peaceful way of being. And so some of you are going to be prepared to be ambassadors to this new way of being, and that will come. You will know if you are one of those beings, and it will become very obvious to you when the time is right for that. So don't go looking for it. Don't spin your wheels on it and make yourself miserable over it. You will know it'll happen. It has been by design. If it's not happening, your mission is something else, and it is still just as equally as important. So be open to what it is that you are doing. Don't get hung up on one thing that we say. So we're going to stop talking and ask if that helped in any way to help. As you were listening to that, Erica, do you think that helped everyone to kind of open their own communication to the realms outside of this one?
Yes, I think that was a beautiful exercise. I definitely want to listen to it again on the recording. As you were going through the kind of almost chakras or points in the body, I could feel, pins and needles, for instance, on my crown and my ears opening up as you were doing it. It was definitely like an energetic kind of opening, clearing. So thank you so much. I think the more people do that, the more the communication or connection will be reinforced. So thank you so much for that.
Yes.
So just sorry, do you have anything to say about that?
The only thing that we would say to remind everybody at the end of that piece is do not go into effort. That is where the blocks happen. You have to just sit in the openness of it. That's how Tracie is right now. She is in the flow of this so that this can come through and speak through her. She is not trying to connect to us. She is just being in the flow of connecting to us. Also, what happens is people try to read themselves. So we can have this conversation with you very easily, but if Tracie was trying to ask us questions, that is when it gets very difficult because she is attached to every question she asks. So then she's got this internal thing going on. But when speaking with someone else, having them ask the questions to you will make this easier as well. So if you are working with your channeling, rather you're starting off with just writing the answers out or bringing it in through the voice, have somebody else ask questions that are not connected to you, and you will have a much better time bringing the channel in.
That's a really good suggestion. I've never heard that before, but that definitely does make sense. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next
Tracie,
question was, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say Tracie wishes it was like she could just phone us and say, "Hey, what is happening in my life right now?" But it doesn't work that way for her. She doesn't. It is almost like she gets to do this for everyone else, but she has to go somewhere else to get her answers as
Okay.
well, because she gets too attached to what we're going to
Yes.
say. So we do want to put that out there because many people think they're going to sit with this and get all their answers. And it's almost like it's the opposite of that. You may get some of your answers through channeling, but you're going to do better. You're going to be more accurate and fluid if you are working with somebody else's questions because you're not attached to them. Okay, we'll let you ask the next one.
Yes, yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me because I know when I do tarot readings, if I do it for myself, I almost can't read for myself. It's one of the most challenging things. But if I read for someone else, it's so easy. The information just flows because I'm not attached to it. So I can look at it from an objective perspective. So that makes a lot of sense. So the next question was more about or extraterrestrial contact in the future. Is there anything about actual physical connection and contact? Because, we have these channels and we have alleged sightings, but people are curious about what is to come in terms of extraterrestrial contact going forward.
We do see this for the future of the Earth. Timelines are hard for us to bring in for humankind because everything is hinged on when the vibrations get to a certain point, right? When you get your vibrations to a certain point, now you can start reaching different collectives. And when you raise the vibration, then you or raise the vibration. Tracie hates it when we do that. When you change the vibration, when you learn new frequencies, then you have access to new things. As humankind keeps moving through the frequencies, you will eventually reach a frequency that makes it safe for everyone to come together. You have to understand it is not always safe to be in the vibration of these other beings because your physical being may not be able to handle the frequency of the being that you're wanting to come in contact with, and vice versa. Your density in the third dimension is too harsh for the physical beings to come and interact. But as you raise your vibration in the other dimensions, as Tracie is doing right now to communicate with us, this is a start, right? And and how exciting is that to be able to have that start? And if you think about your history, to communicate to one another many, many years ago, you had to write a letter and wait many, many days for that letter to get to the person that you had written it to, and you hope that they get it within a couple of weeks, right? And now you type it on a computer and they have it instantly. And you used to have to walk or ride a horse or move in that direction. Now you have cars and airplanes. And so it's similar to that. It is stepping stones. We're going to get to these frequency matches where, yes, there will be physical interaction with the outside star beings, and they're just as excited about it as you are, but it needs to come into harmony before that can happen. So for some of you, this will happen in your lifetime. And for some of you, you may decide to come back in when it's all fifth dimensional frequency and play again in this world. And so don't be too worried about it. It will evolve to that. It already has evolved to that. You're just catching up to those points, but where it is on the timeline depends on the frequency. That is just one optional timeline. As we all know about timelines now, there's timelines all around you that have it at different points on the timeline. But we do see this coming into play. As we spoke about, the ambassadors are getting their vibrational bodies ready, their physical bodies in vibration, in a vibrational match to be the ambassadors, to go to the Galactic Federation, to be able to handle the energies that are applied there. And so we think that they'll be the first to acclimate and go, and then there will be the teaching to everyone else how to get their bodies in that frequency so that they can also astro travel, move through the space and time, ride on the ships, whatever you, it sounds like a carnival ride almost. But there will be a time where space will not be a mystery to anyone anymore.
Mhm. Yes, thank you so much. It seems like people are just a little bit impatient about when this will happen because everyone is looking forward to teleportation devices and no arbitrary borders between countries, as Tracie and I was talking before. Why do we need passports and visas to go anywhere? And people are, I think, just getting a bit impatient and frustrated. Do you have anything to say to us?
The more you're impatient and frustrated, the longer it will take, right? We spoke about the energy that you put towards the desire. You
Mm,
you have to also be accountable for the energy you're putting into the requests that you're making. So no more frustration than impatience, because you can create your own reality. So in other words, Erica, your reality, if you become an energetic match to all of these things we spoke about, you will have access to them. So it is an
mm,
individual journey where maybe Tracie won't have access to something you have access to because you've done the work to clear the energy, to raise the vibration, to work with these beings in communication, to become that ambassador, if you will, to do the travels, to be on the ships. You've all been on ships. You've all been on them. and you've been encased in, if you will, in these bubbles of light so that your physical bodies could handle the energy. You've been transported, you've been moved back and forth. There are so many things, right? We don't want to say things that will cause the mind to interpret incorrectly what we are trying to say. You're all connected to these councils, to these planetary beings that are here to help and assist. That's why you're listening. That's why you're here. That's why you're interested in this conversation. So therefore, you have all been on these ships in some form. Some of you take the soul body, if you will, and you use the molecular, what do we want to call it? The avatar, if you will, that is provided for you in these other places. Your soul will transfer to avatars. You've been in many different forms. You are able to transfer into these different elements. You've been there. Maybe what you need to do is start asking, can I remember where I go in my sleep? That's a good place to
Mm,
start. Can I remember where I go
mm,
in my sleep? And start becoming the energetic match to that. Keep a dream journal so that you can start being aware of your dreams, lucid dreaming, all those different forms of dreaming. And you'll find yourself starting to remember things, starting to remember coming back from these ships, starting to remember the journey that you were on. Maybe you went to another planetary system. Maybe you went to see other family members. If you are a volunteer, your soul may not be tethered to the body you're in. It may be tethered to another body and transferred to this body so that you can bring back information and have the human experience to report back on. So there's many things to learn about who you are. Start that journey. You let go of the impatience, let go of the frustration, start the journey to discover who you are and what your connection is to what is happening here. And you'll start to get the answers to what it is you're looking for. And so as we speak of that, Tracie says, well, just remind them that both Erica and Tracie are level 3 practitioners in QHHT. Well, QHHT is a beautiful way for people to start remembering who they are. They can go into that hypnotic state and go into other versions of self, past or future or alternate realities, whatever it might be. And so those are great ways for people to explore who they are on this planet and why they're here, because those are the important things to know. Those are the things that are more important than the when will we get to see these guys in person, right? You got to figure out why you're here. You are those guys in person, by the way. You are
mhm,
them. And that's why you want to go back to them. But we have to say, for a lot of you, it is, if you were to go back and right now, if we were to say, yes, go meet all of these beautiful
mhm,
counterparts to you, you would be so homesick for them that you wouldn't want to be here. And so that is why some of you were blocked. That is why all of you were blocked. Some of you are breaking through those blocks through understanding why you're here so that you can be okay with being here, knowing why you're here, and then you can have more access to those counterparts on the other side. So doing the work is going to open those doors for you. Understanding who you are, why you're here is going to open a lot of doors for you. That would be the thing we would hope everyone could jump into. The sooner you're doing that, the sooner you're going to have access to the thing you're asking for. And that is why we can't give you a timeline, because we can't tell you how soon you'll do that. That is an individual journey. So we're sorry that we can't say, yes, in 5 years, you're all going to be shaking hands with your star families and hugging and sharing stories. But it could be 5 years. It could be it could be 10 minutes. It depends on you and where you're at. Okay.
yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's a really good practical tip. I like the aspect of ask and it shall be given. I mean, ask the question, where did I go in my sleep last night? And the answer will arise. So I like
Mhm.
that. Thank you so much. Okay, so my next question is related more to the Arcturians specifically. As I understand it, the Arcturians donated DNA to the humans and also contributed to the seeding of the planet. Can you maybe go into that, maybe just broadly, how the Arcturians contributed to humans and to the planet?
Mm. We might have a little This is where Tracy's been getting a lot of information in her sessions about these things. So she's saying, let me try to get out of the way. She wants to answer that one. She's like, me. Hmm. So yes, Arcturians, the collectives have contributed for humanity as well as other planetary beings. You have the Palladians as a very strong contributor for DNA as well, but you also have the Anshar, you have the Andromedan, you have many different blends that are going on. There's you're quite a mutt, right? That is how they say it with the dogs. You're
Yes,
a
or a
little bit of a mutt.
cocktail.
You've got Yes, you are a cocktail of all of these beautiful things. And isn't it fun to know that many universes exist out there? Many universes with planetary systems, much like yours, exist out there. And to understand that with each journey, there's evolution for each planet, there's evolution, and the creation never ends. There will be more creation and more planetary systems, and they, as we learn, as how do we want to say this, as a universal energy, as we learn and grow from each system that has been collectively made, then the next one gets made and created, and the next one gets made and created. And it's not, we know that you are very attached to this physical element of this physical being and this physical reality, and yet it can be very much like a dream state as well. And it can be different than what you think it is. So open your mind to all the possibilities of what this could be, this experience that you're having, what it could be, and bring in the openness to let expansion take over. Let go of everything you think you know and let it come in different ways, different possibilities. And then you'll start to understand how much control you actually have in this reality. Then you'll start to understand your ability and your power to manifest and create the reality of desire. That is a big open door for many of you. So let go of the old ways of thinking and constructs that are keeping you held in this box, if you will, of what this world actually is, and allow for your counterparts to open your mind, allow for the universe to open your mind to the possibility of all the fluidity that is taking place in these experiences that you are having. What if you could change it all? What if you can manipulate this energy in your favor to create the reality that you've always dreamed of? And that is what you are doing. As each and every one of you starts to believe for something better starts to manifest and create. And that is even working too hard for it. As you figure this out, you're going to see how easy it actually is. And that is when the fifth dimension can be created on your earth, when more and more people start to understand how easy it actually is to create this new reality. You're working with old constructs, and it is the breaking down of these old ways of being and this old vibration that has been known for so long. You get to break all that down. It's all fluid. Make it new, make it yours, and create. And that's what we invite everyone to do.
Okay, thank you. So there wasn't, too much about exactly what was donated to the Earth from the Arcturians, for instance, the watering systems or anything specifically, or is it not really relevant at this time?
None of that is, well, it is answered in there and it isn't. There
Yes.
is a large number of contributing. So you would have to go back to all the different systems, because each system, each universe that it was ever created, the next one is built off of that and then built off that. There are collectives that go to each of these universes and collects the information from each of the universes, each of the planetary systems that hold life form, and they collect the information, and then they take all that information and they create a new one, and then so on and so on. And so to say we are the only ones that contributed to this would be inaccurate. We're all contributing at all times. So the things that you were seeing, some of the things that you were seeing from this planetary system may have been pulled or extracted from Arcturus or from Sirius or from other planetary systems and other galaxies and other galaxy systems and the multiverse and so on and so on. So it's a very big question. But yes, there is contribution from all of us. That is why we are all here. We are all part of the creation. Everyone that is seated here on the planet is part of the creation. People are here on this planet right now because they helped create the planet and they want to see this planet succeed because they have invested in the creation of it. So just as the question is put to us, what did you contribute? We could say that back to everyone listening. What did you
Yes.
contribute?
Yes.
Because you did.
Okay.
And to look into that and to ask that question, what did I contribute to this planetary system? And we also want to remind you that you could be living multiple lives on this system right now as well. And so as you are contributing right now, bringing in this beautiful light of energy and being the conduit for change and the shift of energy in the planet, you are contributing constantly. So yes, we contributed, and there's many different ways that we could introduce that to you, but you are also part of that. Just like Tracie came from a, an aspect of Arcturus, and you, Erica, you have come through. We see many of them with you. But we see very strong with you. We see a very beautiful Lyran female with you. We see a Palladian with you, and we see your Arcturian brothers and sisters standing behind that. You have a very large council. You have connections to Andromedan. You have connections uh, to what is this one over here? Oh, you have connections to the portal of the sun, which brings you to many different dimensions and planetary systems. You are connected to a thread of the multiverse so that you can go out and actually connect to beings that are from universes that are far, far away. There's many things that
Mm.
go on in each and every one of us. There's so much more than the simple lives that you have chosen to participate in this reality.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, I think it's important to know, just, ask what are we ourselves contributing at this moment and how are we, participating in this kind of play of life. So I like that aspect. Thank you. So the next question I had was just getting away from the extraterrestrial questions, is more practical. I have a question about healing. So of course we do a lot of this in QHHT, but it seems, I do know that thoughts create reality, and this trumps just about everything. But it seems like there's also a chemical component to healing. Of course, like, if you drink a cup of sewage water, you will still get sick. So, what is the best way, to go about healing? Because it's not just thoughts create reality. It seems like we can't focus our thoughts uh, so well at this stage of our evolution. If you understand what I'm saying, we can't just believe we're going to get better. We actually can't believe that. So we need to be working with the chemical, the physical aspect of healing as well. Is there anything? Do you have any perspective on healing itself?
Mm. There is a chemistry, for sure, a chemical element to it. And we're still trying to get out of the picture of drinking sewage water, but um, as that was put
Sorry.
to us, yes, you will get
Extreme
sick, and
example.
if you're willing to drink that, then that is a bad day. Mm. As we look at just the pureness of the chemistry of the body, as science has proven that our thoughts create the chemistry, the thoughts of the human mind will create the chemistry of your body, and that is how the healing happens. So, if you were all to think about something that makes you very angry right now, you feel that stir in your body, you feel your muscles are tightening, you feel that chemistry change in your body. And then, if we were to tell you to think of, and hopefully you're not allergic to cats, a fluffy little kitten, and you're like, oh, cute little kitten or cute little puppy, or something that makes you light up. Maybe you just had a baby and you're just like, oh my God, this is my heart and soul. And then all of a sudden everything gets light and relaxes, and the body relaxes, and you start thinking of this cute little thing and how much you love it and all the good things. You just changed the chemistry of your body twice within the time we were talking about it. So the chemistry of the body and that belief system, right? You have that belief system, can I heal myself? And what what might be a way to look at things as when people would pray for healing, when they would pray for healing and they would see their loved one healed, and they would see them healed and doing well, and then all of a sudden this would happen. Then it was like, oh, it's an answered prayer and this is a miracle. And you're right, it is. It's both of those things. It is an answered prayer and a miracle took place. But it was also that intention. It was also that energy of the collective, seeing that person healed, seeing the body in its better place. When you can create that belief system of the healing, you change the chemistry of the body. It no longer needs to have the element of the uh, whatever it might be. If you have a tumor, the tumor can shrink and go away. If you have a common cold, the common cold can go away. If you can understand why it is there, then it can go away. Your body is a vehicle that talks to you all the time. And when you end up getting there's so many of humankind's sayings that just back up what it is that's happening. Tracie just had somebody the other day ask her, what is a wart? And she says, well, what do they say a wart is? Worry wart, worry wart. It's worry, about
Mm.
worry going on there. So some of the things that go on in your reality, they are very accurate. When you get the nervous stomach, it's because you're nervous. That is the symptom, and the reaction to that symptom is the stomach. So the trick would be, how do you not be nervous? How do you bring yourself back into that stable place and that change of thought? For some, that is a journey because there is a whole lot of training throughout childhood and different things of being nervous and not being good enough and feeling like you don't deserve. And so when something's coming to you, it feels foreign because you're trained to reject it, sabotage it, and move it on so that it's not part of your experience because that doesn't fit your paradigm of not being worthy. So again, we bring you back to the self work and the self healing. When you can keep yourself in that vibration that is out of the densities, right? You get yourself out of the fear based energy. And this is a discipline that takes a little time to work on. If you're not there, you have to raise yourself out of the fear based energy. When you can raise yourself out of fear based energy, illness cannot find you there. Illness it exists in the fear-based energies. So as you raise yourself up into the higher frequencies, if you will, if that's the way that it resonates for you, if you change yourself out of those fear energies and densities, and that's not to say one is right and one is wrong, they all provide experience. So you're in the density to have the experiences, but if you want to quit having those experiences, start finding ways to move out of that density and out of the fear and out of the worry and out of the suffering energy, and then it will not find you there. And you will maintain a healthier body and you'll maintain a healthier a lot of things change for you when you're in that element. You won't crave foods that cause you to feel poorly. You won't crave things in your life that cause you to feel bad about yourself. Those are energetic matches to the flow of energy that you have resonating within you. So as you change those frequencies, as you heal those wounds within you, you raise it out of that density, and then you'll raise out of the illness. So the thoughts creating the chemistry piece. Yes, if you are going to drink something or eat something that is contaminated in some sort of way, uh, we're going to say you probably weren't listening to your intuition that was saying, don't eat that, don't drink that. But if you choose, or it does happen anyway, you will experience the body purging that out of your system. But you may find that as you keep yourself in that other space while this is happening, as you know that this is happening for you, you will move through it much faster. And so you'll keep yourself in a space that will move the symptoms through much faster, purge this out of your body much faster. Or if you need the time, if other things that will happen. Another big
Yeah.
question, Erica. Other things that happen in your life. You keep going, 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 and you're not giving yourself a break, then your
Yes.
subconscious mind will create a symptom to slow you down. So if you are truly in honoring yourself, honoring your time, honoring people around you, receiving things as they are without judgment, without fear, you're going to stay in a very good place. And a lot of us, and then we say us because we experience with Tracie, a lot of us are still teetering back and forth between those places. Life happens, it kind of kicks you around a little bit, and it can bring you back into that third dimension pretty strongly. And then it takes a little bit of time to realize you did that, and now you can bounce back up. But getting back
Okay.
to the other space is much easier once you have done it. It is practice, right? Practice makes perfect, and then pretty soon you stay there. So
Yes.
it is a journey. Healing the body is a thing. You can do it. You can heal many things. You can heal everything eventually with your thoughts and with your belief systems, and bringing yourself into alignment with that healing. But do know that if you find yourself in a place where you are struggling with it, that there are other options out there for you at this time in the medical system. You have your naturopathic medicines. You have good doctors out there that will help you the right way. You know, put yourself in alignment with that as well until you can get yourself to this place where you no longer need it. And so we
Mm.
understand it as a journey. There is no judgment with taking care of yourself and getting yourself into a healed space and a way that feels good to you. Every way is right? If you believe it is going to work for you, it's going to work for you. And if you believe that, okay, this I'm going to use this practice with Reiki, and I'm going to use this practice with my mind and with my meditation, but I'm also going to use this practice with supplements and things that are going to help me with my dietary thing by eating these foods. It all works. It all works.
Mm.
So we don't want to say that anyone is wrong in any way. Everyone is right, because as you believe it, you are creating that for yourself. And it is
Yes.
a beautiful thing. So go create and be happy in whatever energy, whatever belief system you have, be happy in it. And that is going to be the biggest catalyst to all things. If you are happy, you are creating a wonderful reality.
Yes.
Does that help?
I It does very much. I was just wondering why it's so difficult for humans to get out of this kind of fear-based thinking. Because, if it was so easy to do, I think everyone would just be in light and love and happiness all the time. So why do you think it's so hard for us to get out of this belief system at the end of the day?
Well, each person will have their own individual journey with that. They have signed up to be here for certain experiences and to take on certain challenges. There are many light workers who came into this reality through a family unit, and they came in to help each family unit to heal their karmic patterns, to put a stopping point to abuse and bad behaviors. And so they had to experience that abuse and bad behaviors in order to put a stop to it. And so there's things going on that are layered, in fact. So there are many things going on to purge the densities of humankind, but also to purge the densities of the earth itself, Earth Mother. There's been many battles, many wars that have taken place, a lot of anger that has been imprinted in the planet. And so all the light workers have been working on clearing and purging the anger, the hurt, the pain, the suffering through not just the family units that they have come into, but also in the planetary system and in the waters and the air and all of the things. And some of that work is still being done and being purged out. As we were saying, when you see things getting getting very dark, if you will. We want to remind you, it's like a pendulum swinging, right? And you are in duality. So the more darkness you see, just assume that means that much more light came in because there is the duality. So when things seem like they're getting very dark or very intense, it must mean that there's a lot more light coming in because it's starting to, this is Tracie's analogy, it's starting to bring that pimple to a head, right? So that it can be popped. It is part of that system to purge out the densities. The more light that's shown on it, the more dense the darkness is because it's all starting to pull and pool over here together. And so as you bring something closer together, it seems more uh, solidified, if you will. And so these purging of these energies as they surface, when you're doing your own work, how do you release things? How do you know something needs to be healed? Because somebody comes in and they do something that triggers you so that it comes up to the surface. So that's what you're seeing planetary wise, things that are coming up to the surface so that they can be purged out and cleared off the planet. And so we forgot your original question. Oh, why are people still steeped in these energies? The ones that you
Fear-based, yes.
see that are still in these places of the third dimension, some of them are the volunteers that came in to purge. So not everybody that you see in it is still in that karmic loop, if you will, but some of them that you see, a large mass of people, just like a large mass, are here to hold the light or holding light so that they can go in and purge the dark or the densities. And we feel like light and dark is a judgment. It is not. It is just, this is where the earth is at. It's time to move it into a new dimension. It's just like if you were going to remodel your kitchen, you got to take everything out in order to bring the new stuff in, right? And so that is what's happening. This is the great cleanup, if you will,
Mhm.
to move the old cabinets out of the kitchen so you can put the new ones in. And so we know that a lot of people are in there doing the groundwork to get the old energy to surface so that they can clear it out so that the group that came in to bring in the light can come in and bring that light in. And so that is why you see a lot of people leaving the planet at this time, by the way, because they have completed what they came here to do. And they came here to do a certain task. And when they are done, they are leaving. You have some of the collective that is leaving. For those of you who have lost loved ones, some of them moved out of the older bodies so that they can come back in the newer body. And they had to clear out old belief systems. And so, because those old belief systems are so ingrained through being born earlier on in this world, they are choosing to leave those constructs through leaving the body, and then they'll come into a new body with a family system that is more in alignment with the new earth so that they can come in and be of a different frequency and service to the planet in that way. So a lot of things are going on, very interesting things that are going on with those who are leaving the planet at this time. Some are complete and done, some are leaving so they can come back as the new earth children that are going to be leading us into the fifth dimension even stronger. They are going to be eventually the ones that show us the way of how to be in a fifth dimension. And so there's a lot of exciting things going on with the souls that are coming and going at this time.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we need to wrap up this session. Just the last question: is there anything we can or can't look forward to 2023? Anything, any information for the light workers or for anyone in general listening right now?
Yes, some of the things that we have talked about for 2023, you will see some of that advancement in that energy source that we were speaking about. You'll see some of that coming forward. We believe some of it's already starting to surface in different areas of the world. So hopefully you'll get a lot more of that and it'll become available to the public sooner than later. That is our wish for you. You will see some of um, the medical systems are going to be going through some changes as well, and that'll be to uh, to improve the systems that are in place. So there will be some new things going on with that. We want to say, with you were talking about how do people reach these vibrations. There are devices that are coming out, the med beds and different devices around the planet. There's many that are being created right now that are vibrational uh, unit that will help you reach vibrations. And many people ask us about these, mostly the med beds. When the med beds come out, is that a good thing? They're all good things because they're reminding you how to get to these frequencies. So this is nothing you can't do on your own, but if you go and participate in holding on to the little rods, laying on the beds, hitting those vibrations, letting those devices show you and remind you cellularly how to get to these vibrations, that is where they come into play. That is very strong. Yes, the med beds will work. Yes, these devices will work because they are teaching you and reminding you how to hit these vibrations on your own. So when you're not able
Mm.
to go lay on the med bed or hold the device, your body will remember how to create that vibration. And that's what they're here to do, to remind you, help you remember how to do it. And so they are going to be very valuable in the sense of bringing back the memory of how to create this frequency on our own. So if you have access to one and you would like to give it a whirl, we say do it, play in that
Mhm.
vibrational energy. That that's stuff that's already available to you. Go explore it. One of the, let's see, what else do they want us to show you for 2023? Just expect a lot of change going on.
Mhm.
We laugh because Tracie said no political things, and then she says, "Oh, remind them that when something really flashy is going on here, and say, oh, look at this over here. We shot down these spy balloons, or we did this or that, whatever it might
Mm.
be. That there might be something else going on that they're trying to get you not to look at. Don't look at the shiny thing over here. When you
Mm.
see that portraying a shiny thing, a shiny object, they're what are they trying to distract you from?" And so when they're saying, look at this, that's the time for you to start looking at something else. What is it they're trying to get me not to see? So
Yes.
just be aware. And again, not to be brought into a place of upsetting you that this would be happening. Laugh it off. Okay, these guys are clowns. What are they not showing us? And then let's start sending some love and light to that. So whatever it is that they're not showing us, we just want to just lather that in light and bring it to one. We want to bring it to the public's eye. We want people to see whatever it is that they're trying to hide from us. And just go ahead and see it as being exposed, and beautiful, beautiful energy around all of it. And be in joy that you have the power to ask for those things to be brought to the light so that we can see what's really going on and we can make the best choices for humanity at this time. And remember, keep it all lighthearted, keep it all in joy. You have a lot of power in your life to create whatever you want. So we could sit here and tell you these things are going to happen, but we say to you, what do you want? What do you want to have happen? What's your heart's desire for your individual life, for the collective, for all those in suffering, for those in leadership? What do you truly want for them? And is it coming from a place of love? Is it coming from the heart? And look at the part you're playing in that, and then be involved in that part. Be aware of that part and that piece, and you'll start to understand more and more as you do that. More information comes to you, more about who you are, where you come from, and the part you're playing at this time, because this is why we're all here. We all came to be part of this time right now. You, your counterparts, your starseed connections, your physical counterparts in this physical world of the earth, we're all here at this time for these moments so that we can create and hold and sustain these changes into something better. So
Mm. Yes.
with that, we
Thank you.
think that that will be enough, right?
Yes, that's very much. Thank you. Very inspiring. I was just wondering why my camera had to stop working in the previous interview I did. My audio had to stop working. Is there any reason for that before we depart?
You are moving through a lot of vibrations, and your vibrations will shift as you've been talking to us. Your vibrations have been going up and down, your frequencies, and they interrupt the signals. And
Mm,
so we're just going to ask if they can work with you on that to hold
mm,
and maintain a frequency during the show when you're doing the interview, so that your equipment is not being disrupted.
okay.
But
Yes.
uh, but that is a good reason for your equipment to be disrupted, right? Because you have all this beautiful
Yes.
energy that wants to just keep jumping out and being expansive.
Ah,
So it is
okay.
good thing.
Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Okay. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us.
I will go ahead and get Tracy back for you now. Thank you everyone for being
Thank
here and
you.
letting us be a part of your day. Mm.
Thank you.
Okay, there it
How
was.
was that? Can you see me? Now
Yes,
you
I
can
can.
see me, right? I was
Yeah,
like a blur. There was like a white, like a haze. You've got to see, like when you look at the video in retrospect, I had to switch my camera off. It was so weird. Like I've never seen anything like that. So
that's
anyway, but
pretty
I'm back.
cool.
How was that for you?
Right now my eyes twitching, so that's interesting. But
Yeah.
it was really good. It was a really good transmission of energy. The things, the certainties that were coming through with how we're going to create these changes, it was very strong. Um,
Mm,
it helps me to understand that it's not just going to be like that we're all playing a part in that, and some of the information that comes through, like through QHHT sessions, you got people with maybe 5 different versions of how is New Earth getting here.
yeah.
Some people will
Yeah.
say, well, they're going to come get us and move us to another planet. I do think that there is a collective that will happen to, and I think that that's a collective of volunteers that they're going to come
Mm,
get them and bring them back to whatever planet
mm,
they came from.
mm,
Those who are evolving here, I see us improving the planet we're on, and as we're raising that vibration, we're going to
mm.
shift dimensions into the fifth dimension already exists here, so we're just
Yes.
raising ourselves to match it, so you can
Yes.
have it at any time you can get there, right? So
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
and that's my belief system, is it's already here. I've experienced it many
Mm,
times. In
yes.
fact, I feel like sometimes I get to live there for a while before the third dimension knocks on my door again.
Mm,
Um, but for me to do that, I don't leave home very often. I don't go to grocery
yeah.
stores and different things like that. In
Yeah.
fact, I did like the QHHT reunion, I'm with a bunch of like-minded people, so the
Mm,
energy is kind of held a little better there. But it wasn't
mm,
without a third dimensional experience every once in a while, right? So I think as we all start doing these, getting into these spaces, we're going to start creating it more as a whole instead of our little bubbles. We're creating it
mm.
right now, little bubbles, and then it'll get to become the
Yeah.
whole.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, yeah. I've also gotten similar information in QHHT sessions that 5D is a state of being. It's not a physical place. And then also that 5D is the experience of the individual who has evolved towards themselves, which I think was quite beautiful, which is what all these
yeah,
extra higher dimensional extraterrestrials are talking about is responsibility, return back home, back to the heart. Yeah, I like that.
yeah.
And when my camera started going blurry is when you started doing that little exercise, with the kind of, the light
Oh,
coming in and opening up
removing
the
the
ear.
block.
That's when my freaking camera started going. So it must have been that, right?
You know
Because my
what?
face was
When,
like a white
when
haze, almost like an
in my
apparition.
mind, when
So
that happened, everybody's guides
yeah.
came in, like they came in close.
Yeah.
So that probably happened to you. Your guides were
Yeah.
probably standing off and then came in close,
Yeah.
and then the signals go wonky. I don't know
So
what they did with
interesting.
my computer to make it not do that, but
Yeah, you look really bright and clear, like still going.
and it's
Anyway,
funny
I
because
just
the
yeah.
room's actually kind of dimly lit, and when I turn this on,
Mm.
it's like, wow, why am I so bright on there? So I don't know. Yeah, it's not a real bright room that I'm sitting in, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, but I suppose it was
yeah,
good because people needed to see. They didn't really need to see me, but they needed to see you. So it worked perfectly. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Well, I suppose
that's
that's
awesome.
that. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know you have a busy day. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
talking to me. It was an honor to talk to you again. I hope we can do this maybe in the future again. And yeah, we will chat soon.
I loved it, and of course, I loved getting to spend time with you. It was a lot of fun, and
Yes, of
thank you for
course.
bringing me to your collective. Hi, everyone.
Yes. Okay, bye.
All right, bye-bye.